Have you ever met someone who barely spoke in a room full of loud voices? And yet, when they did say something, everyone stopped and listened? Or maybe you know someone who never brags, never argues, never tries to prove how smart they are, and somehow they are always the most respected person in the room. That is not a coincidence. There is a very specific pattern to how genuinely intelligent people think, behave, and move through the world. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Today, we are going to break down 10 psychological traits that quietly separate truly smart people from everyone else. Some of these might describe you. Some might challenge the way you see intelligence altogether. Let's get into it.
Here is something most people get wrong about intelligence. They think it is loud. We are conditioned to believe that the person with the most to say is the smartest one in the room. But psychology tells a very different story. Research in active listening shows that people who listen more than they speak tend to retain more information, pick up on nuances others miss, and make better decisions because they are not busy performing intelligence. They are actually gathering it. Smart people understand that every time someone else speaks, it is an opportunity to learn something. Why would you interrupt that? Silence, for a smart person, is not emptiness. It is processing. It is observation. It is strategy. There is a famous psychological concept called the Dunning-Kruger Effect, and it reveals something uncomfortable about human nature. People with limited knowledge in a subject tend to overestimate how much they know. But people with deep expertise, they are often the most uncertain. Because the more you learn, the more you realize how vast and complex a subject truly is. Smart people live in that second group. They are not pretending to be modest. They are genuinely humbled by how much there is still to understand. Knowing what you do not know, that is one of the most underrated forms of intelligence. Think about the most accomplished people you have ever admired. The ones who have truly built something, mastered something, contributed something meaningful. Did they spend their time telling you how great they were? Probably not. Smart people have very little interest in performing intelligence. They are not trying to impress you. They are too busy doing the actual work. Building, creating, solving, learning. There is a quiet confidence in this. It comes from knowing your own value without needing anyone else to validate it. When your results speak clearly enough, words become unnecessary. Humility and intelligence are deeply connected. And this is something science actually backs up. Studies in organizational psychology have found that intellectually humble people, those who recognize the limits of their knowledge and remain open to being wrong, consistently outperform their peers in problem-solving and decision-making. Why? Because they are not protecting their ego. They are pursuing truth. A smart person would rather be corrected and be right in the end than be stubborn and stay wrong forever. Humility also means they do not see themselves as superior to others. They understand that intelligence is not a single thing. It comes in many forms. This one might feel uncomfortable, but it is real. And it is worth talking about honestly. Smart people often have smaller social circles, not because they are antisocial, and not because they are cold or unfriendly, but because they crave depth over breadth in their relationships. Small talk can feel draining to someone whose mind is constantly working at a deeper level. They want conversations that go somewhere. They want connections built on meaning, not just familiarity. There is a study from the British Journal of Psychology worth noting here. It found that for highly intelligent people, spending time alone, contrary to what we might expect, actually increases their life satisfaction. Quality over quantity. That is how smart people approach friendship. Most people are afraid to ask questions. because they do not want to look like they do not know something. Smart people ask questions precisely because they want to understand something. There is a powerful difference there. The right question can unlock an entire conversation. It can reveal assumptions no one had examined. It can shift the direction of a project, a relationship, or a decision. Smart people are not asking questions to fill silence. They are asking questions to get to something real, to understand what is actually happening beneath the surface of any situation. This trait can make life socially complicated for smart people, because they often see what is broken before anyone else does. They notice the flaw in the plan. They see the gap in the logic. They catch the inconsistency in the story. This is not cynicism. It is pattern recognition. Their brain is constantly scanning for what does not fit, what does not add up. In the right environment, this skill is invaluable. Great engineers, doctors, editors, strategists, they are often people whose minds are wired to find the error others overlooked. This one might seem simple, but it runs deeper than it appears. Reading is not just about absorbing information. It is about training your mind to follow complex ideas, hold multiple perspectives at once, sit with nuance, and build patience for slow unfolding understanding. These are all cognitive muscles. And reading is one of the few activities that exercises all of them at the same time. Reading, especially literary fiction, has also been shown to increase empathy. It forces you into the minds and lives of people very different from yourself. Here is where intelligence gets interesting, because we often think of it as purely rational and analytical. But smart people also have a powerful relationship with intuition. What most people call a gut feeling is actually the brain processing enormous amounts of information below the level of conscious thought. It is pattern recognition happening faster than words can explain it. And because smart people have spent more time observing, reading, analyzing, and paying attention, their intuitions are often more refined. Learning to trust your intuition is not about abandoning reason. It is about adding another layer of intelligence to your decision-making. This surprises a lot of people. Surely someone intelligent would love a good debate, right? The reality is more nuanced. Smart people can absolutely hold their own in a debate, but they rarely chase conflict for the sake of it, because they understand something most people miss. Winning an argument and changing a mind are two completely different things. You can demolish someone's position in a conversation and walk away having done nothing but make them dig deeper into their original belief. That is not a win. That is wasted energy. Smart people choose their battles carefully. They know that true influence comes from patience, evidence, and timing, not volume and aggression. So, 10 traits. 10 quiet patterns that show up again and again in the way genuinely intelligent people live and think. What is striking about all of them is that none of them are about being the loudest, the most impressive, or the most decorated person in the room. Real intelligence, it turns out, tends to move quietly. It listens more. It asks more. It reads more. It doubts more, including itself. The question to sit with after watching this is not, am I smart? Because that is not a useful question. The question is, which of these habits can I begin to practice? Because intelligence is not just something you are born with. It is something you build, slowly, through the choices you make every day about how you pay attention, how you respond, and what you decide to keep learning. Train your mind. control your life. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because we are just getting started.